How would you like to add more power to your serve by leading with your elbow? In this video, I'm going to show you what I mean by leading with the elbow, how it all works and when it happens. I'm also going to show you some common problems we see and things to look out for when you're working on this. And then I'll show you some drills you can do to help you to lead with the elbow and ultimately to add more effortless power to your serve. So what do we mean by leading with the elbow? Well, if you look from the rear view, as the body begins to uncoil, we'll see how the elbow starts to move around and up. Looking from the side view, we'll see how the elbow is leading the hand. The elbow then extends, and that's when the hand catches up. And you'll see that any throwing motion, as we see here with this baseball pitch, we'll notice how the elbow is leading and can draw many parallels. However, on the Sueur, we're looking for more of an upward plane of motion. Now, how and when does it happen? So the first thing is you want to develop a good right to left. Right to left is when you bend from the elbow and the racket moves from right to left and over your head, as we see here with Medvedev. You want to make sure that the palm of your hand and the strings are angled slightly downward. This is going to give you the range of motion where you can continue to bend the arm as the racket drops into the racket drop position. The second part, you have to have a loose arm, right? So if you turn the hand up with the strings up, you lose range of motion. Shoulder tightens up. It's very difficult to get that position. I often call this part of the serve, the power loop, a gravity drop. So that's the first part. Now the timing and the sequencing of this, using the body. So as we coil the body and load the legs, get into this position here. Now from here we begin to uncoil. The legs then drive, and we see how the hip and the trunk starts to come around. This brings the elbow around and up. Now if the arm is loose, the arm is going to continue to bend and the racket's going to now drop into the racket drop. So essentially when you drive your legs, it drives the elbow up and in turn drives the racket tip down. Looking at Federer, you'll see how the body is fully loaded and coiled before the racket crosses the head. The legs then drive, and we see how the hip and the trunk, as well as the elbow, start to rotate around and up. When we look at the racket drop, the body is fully extended where the racket tip is now pointing down and the elbow is up and away from the ear. Notice how the elbow is almost tracking the hip as it comes around. We now see how the arm begins to extend, and then we begin to see the rotation through the shoulder and the forearm up to contact. Now for some common problems we see and things to look out for. A lot of times players simply bring the elbow up, but they lack rotation. So you can't throw a ball very far if your elbow does not travel around and up going forward. As we demonstrate this both from behind and also from the side. You also see that the elbow is away from the ear. It's not right next to the ear. So you want to look out for that. The other one, a lot of times players will simply just bend the elbow where the racket drops past the head before they begin to uncoil. Remember, you want the body to begin to uncoil, so the elbow is coming around as the racket is dropping down past the head. That's an important one to look out for. Now the other problem we may see is players overemphasize leading with the elbow. What they lack is they lack rotation with the body, and they simply just move the elbow forward, separated from the body. So the elbow comes forward. Instead, we should see the hips and the trunk rotating and the elbows coming around as that's happening. As we see here with Nadal. Now let's watch that again. Now another very common problem we see, particularly amongst recreational players, is that players, when the racket's dropping behind the back, they're actually going down with the body. The knees are bending. Often this is a result of when they toss the ball with their legs, so they're going up. Now they've got to come down to low, but now they've mistimed the kinetic chain, where instead your legs should be bending as you toss the ball. As we see here, demonstrated by Federer and also by Djokovic. So as we get into the next drill, with elbow the ball drill, just make sure that you're in this loaded position, right? So you bend the knees, you toss the ball, so that you can then drive with the legs as you go up to meet the ball with your elbow. Now, a great way to work on this and to help your racket drop, to lead with the elbow, is to do the elbow the ball drill, all right? I'm going to first demonstrate the drill, and then I'm going to break it up into progressions and how you can work on it so you can do things correctly. So you'll simply toss the ball up and bring your elbow up to meet the ball. But as you do that, you're driving with the legs as well. As we see here, comparing the serve on the left to the drill on the right. So that's the drill, but now let me show you the sequence of progressions that you can go through to help you to do it correctly. Now, as you work through these drills, proceed with caution, do it smartly. You never want to force your arm into this position here. Sometimes you may lack the range of motion, so keep that in mind. Do it safely, do it slowly. Now, you always want to begin with shadow swings, so you want to make sure that you're coiled in this position. Now, from here, you're going to drive the legs, and as you do that, you're going to rotate into the shot, okay? So you're going to drive the legs and then bring the elbow up. You want to be in this position here, where your legs are extended, where the elbow is up. So this part is pointing straight up right here, and you'll see the butt cap is pointing towards the sky. So you want to do a lot of shadow swings like this. Drive the legs, bring the elbow up, whoops, all right? You want to do this over and over. But you want to feel that your body's straightening, and that's helping drive the elbow up and drive the racket tip down. So you want to do that over and over. You can do that at home right now. Then you can try add the ball with a dummy toss, where it may be easy in the beginning to start in a half serve position. You're going to start like this, right? You toss the ball up, and you go up to meet the ball without hitting it. And you want to see, can you toss the ball and do this correctly? And you'll do that over and over. Then once you can do that correctly without trying to meet the ball with your elbow, you're then going to elbow the ball, where you toss the ball up, and you go up to elbow the ball here. But see how my body's extended. See how the elbow's away from the ear. Watch that again. Right? Some people like to do a full serve, just go real slow in the beginning, if that's easier for you. Now, once you can do that, then you want to move on to the dummy toss where you actually complete the swing. And often it can be really helpful to film yourself to see where the ball is or what height the ball is when you're swinging through your point of contact. So either do a full serve or half serve. I usually recommend a half serve. You toss the ball up and then you bend from the elbow. So you think elbow the ball and then swing. And do this over and over. And you want to film yourself to check, are you still getting to this position while you toss the ball up and you're starting to swing? A lot of times what happens, we toss the ball up and then people skip everything and they go to meet the ball, right? So you want to film to make sure this is happening. Now once you can do it with the dummy toss and the ball's very close to your contact height, you then want to try to hit the ball, but slow it down. And we always say you want to first tap the ball. By tapping the ball, it'll help you to slow down. So you start here, you toss, and then just tap. But you want to make sure that you're getting this look here where the elbow is leading. Feel the racket tip is driving down into your racket drop. And just tap. That was a bit of a hit. And then from there, you can then try to hit it, and then you will start to go back behind the baseline. You can also complete any of these drills at home, against a wall, into a side fence, so that way you can take the outcome out of the equation. But those are the drills there. The key things to remember is that you want to make sure that you're leading with the elbow, but you have a good right to left, so the arm can stay nice and loose, you have range of motion, but you're also engaging the legs and the body where you're uncoiling and driving up to meet the ball, so the elbow's going up, and that is in turn driving the racket tip down. Thank you for watching today's video. Please post any comments or questions below. Let us know any specific problems you may be having on your serve. And if you got something out of this video, please pass along to your tennis friends. It will greatly appreciate it. Thank you.